What are we chatting about today? Oh, not a lot, just my life. A bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of COVID, a bit of travel, a bit of here, a bit of isolation, a bit of fun. Not really. Stay by and watch after this. It's coming up. Hi there, welcome to Hymie's place. I'm glad you could join me. Thank you very much to all my subscribers. Oh, almost 50 of you now. Oh, maybe by the time this gets to air, there might be 50. If there's not, why don't you bloody subscribe so I can hit 50? Okay, welcome to the new subscribers and people just watching. Thanks for joining me. I haven't really got a lot to say today. There's no particular topic. I just want to talk a little bit about how my life has changed in the last 6 months. You know, and I'm so appreciative of my life. It's a fantastic life that I have. But in the last 6 months since this COVID has come in, it's affected everybody in different ways. My life's been changed. I haven't worked since February. I've tried to do work, but there's just no work out there. Okay, being a driver in a tourism area, with my own little company, as well as doing Uber and Diddy and things like that, there's just no work. You know, very, very, very little. I mean, you're talking $5 an hour, if that. So my life changed since February, and when COVID hit, it changed again because actually I was in the Philippines. I was over in a little place called Calibo on the island of Aklan. I've just come from a place called Boracay, which is one of the most beautiful places that I've ever seen. It has the most magnificent sunsets, and I'll put a few of them up here for you so you can see what I'm talking about, and sailing on the boats in the sunsets, and you know, just absolutely stunning place. I'd recommend it. It's one of the places I want to go back to once the travel restrictions are done, because there's so much more of the Philippines I want to see. But anyway, I was over there on this little island, and my flight was due to leave on the Monday, and this was the Friday, and I thought I couldn't book the ticket online, and I thought to Manila, and I thought, oh, I have to get from this island to Manila, so I better book it. So I went out and I found like a little travel agency. Well, it wasn't a travel agency, it's a little store. They multitask over there, so they'll sell you a bag of rice and an airline ticket at the same spot. So very industrious people, the Filipinos. Anyway, you can make a few dollars, they'll do it, which is fantastic to see, very enterprising. So anyway, I was chatting with the lady there, and she said, oh, there's going to be a lockdown. I said, what are you talking about? I haven't heard of this. She said, oh, they're locking down Manila. And I'm like, what? So I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be stuck in the Philippines, stuck in Manila. So I thought, oh well, I better get to Manila and try and sort some things out with Philippine Airlines. So the lady was trying to book me the ticket, and she says to me, okay, let's book a ticket. Now the tickets are normally $45 Australian, so about $40, $35 American, somewhere there. And she was trying to book me the tickets, and as she was booking them, they were disappearing. And they were going up in price. So from what, 1,000 pesos, 2,000 pesos, 3,000 pesos, 7,000 pesos. And she said, well, let's see if we can get you Cebu to Manila, fly to Cebu, then over to Manila, 20,000 pesos. And the prices just kept going up and up and up. And I said, look, just book it. And just do whatever you can to get me to Manila. Anyway, she tried to book this 20,000 peso flight, and it was gone. As soon as she tried to book it, it was gone. So you can see the mass exodus of expats and foreigners trying to get out of the Philippines because they heard of this lockdown. Like, oh my God, I've missed the flights. So luckily I went over to the airport, and I stood in this massive queue, not for tickets, by the way. This is a queue to get on an airline. So there's a flight leaving to somewhere, I don't know where it was going, but I stood in this queue. And I got to the front and I said to the lady, I want to buy a ticket. And she goes, oh, where are you going? And I said, Manila. She says, oh, they're all gone. And she checked her little thing, and there was only a couple of seats left on the last plane flying out of Calibo going to Manila that night, 9:30 that night. Luckily, they never ripped me off. It was only a few thousand pesos. You know, it was probably double the price what I'd normally pay, but that was fine because the prices are so cheap anyway. But it was less than $100. So I was very lucky, and I got to Manila. So I left that night, ended up in Manila, and I got locked down for 3 days in Manila. But fortunately, my flights on the 17th, they didn't stop the international flights for people getting out, which was really, really good. You know, they stopped a few of them for people coming in, but they didn't stop them from people leaving. So I managed to get out of Manila on the 17th, got home to my beautiful little apartment, which I've showed you before. The outside there is just magnificent. And I ended up with a 2-week lockdown, 2-week quarantine in my own place, which was fantastic for me because I didn't have to spend time in some foreign hotel. I got to lock down here, so I was in my house for my little unit for 2 weeks, which was fine. You know, that's okay, and that's why I've started up this YouTube channel. That's where that come from. So for the last since February, all I've been doing is the YouTube channel. I haven't worked. I've been out. I've been allowed out, and I've gone out, and I've done things. And we've been locked down at different stages up here in Queensland. We're separated from the rest of Australia. They're not allowed into this. It's sort of like, you know, they've shut the state borders, basically. So people can't get in, can't get out. Right? If you go out, you have to come back. You have to quarantine for 2 weeks in a hotel at your own cost, which is $3,000. So as a Queenslander, if I want to go down and see my family in Victoria, I have to come back and pay $3,000 to a hotel to sit there for 2 weeks. So it's recommended not to go anywhere. So people really can't afford that. So we're sort of isolated from the rest of Australia. So in the area where I am, the major economic benefits here is tourism. So you can imagine our tourism has just been decimated. It's just decimated. There's shops shutting, there's tours shutting, the businesses are shutting, but people are still moving around. You know, we've got a lot of freedom in Queensland compared to other parts of Australia. So we are very, very lucky. We're very lucky that we've come through this in a pretty good stead. We're pretty good. So anyway, life's getting back to normal now, believe it or not, even though we're shut down, we're locked our own state. We're in our own state, but we can move around our own state, which is fantastic. So life's getting fairly back to normal. The good thing is I've found work again. Not doing what I was doing, but I've got another job, which is great. I started last week training, done the first couple of days by myself. So and it's good, and it's good to feel like you can actually contribute again, contribute to society, and contribute to yourself, and you know it's a good feeling, and especially at my age, to find work at my age is good because you know a lot of these people, right? And my boss is young, you know, even though my contractor, you know, he's still young. A lot of people don't hire people our age. You know, we're over the hill. Over the hill. Never thought I'd be over the hill at this age. But in today's society, we're dinosaurs. Whereas I feel like a spring chicken still, other than the physical things going on with my body, which happens at this age. But other than that, mentally and sarcastically, I feel like a spring chicken. I feel like I'm still 25. You know, I think like I'm 25. My eyes see things like I'm still 25. But unfortunately, the body feels like it's 85. I put it through a few things when it was younger. You got to pay the price sooner or later. So maybe all that drinking and smoking and all the other things I used to do is catching up. But I'm not complaining. I mean, that's life. That's the ladies. You know, that's just what happens. You know, when you think you're invincible when you're younger, it comes back and bites you in the arse later in life. But I'm so happy to have work. But I tell you, the body needs to catch up with the rest of it because eventually it will. But this is what happens. You know, when I say changes of COVID, I've been sitting around here for 6 months. And I've managed to whack on another 10 kilos. Not that I haven't been exercising, I've been out there every day walking up and down. You know, I make sure I get my 10,000 steps a day happening. Like I say, here you go, my little Fitbit there, counting all my calories and all my steps and everything else. But as I say, one of my favourite sayings is, you know, elephants and cows walk around eating grass all day. You don't see them getting any bloody thinner. So salad and exercise, I'm not sure if it's working. Right? But I'm sure this job is pretty physical, so I'm sure it's going to get me down in weight a little bit, which I need to do. I need to lose some weight. Like everybody says, we all need to lose some weight. But after 6 months of hibernation and of quarantine, well, not quarantine, but you know, self-isolation style stuff, sitting here, making YouTube videos, sitting on my butt instead of doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing, is taking its toll. So anyway, that's just a little thing I thought I'd share with you. Just a little bit of my life and how it's going at the moment. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. to you subscribers and to you new subscribers, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. If you want to become a subscriber, just a little bit down there. And if you've got something to say about your life and how the quarantine and the COVID's affected you, I'd love to hear it. You just put it in the comments and I'll get back to all the comments. Again, I really appreciate you watching, and we'll chat again soon.